Hey, welcome in. It's Eric Roberts, Music City Trader. We're talking about binary options, and today we're talking about April 2023, how I am actually trading in April and the success that I'm having in April, and what I believe to be the way to trade binary options and to grow your account safely over time. Now, I have this trading sheet like I always do, and I'm putting this one in the online store. The link is in the description. Now, I want to dive right into this video. Let's get started. All right, folks, today I'm in a cowboy hat because I'm from Nashville and the Music City Trader, and this is the first video I've ever worn a cowboy hat in. You know, I don't know why. Maybe because you're like, why is that guy wearing a cowboy hat trading binary options? Well, I just want this video to be special. I want this video to be different. I want this video to be just the best video I've ever made because I'm sharing with you a thing that I've been doing for the last 18 days where I have turned $78 account into a $341 account. Now, that may seem insignificant to some of you guys who've been watching YouTube on binary options, and you're like, oh, that guy, that girl's making $5,000 a day, or that girl turned $10 into $10,000. All of this is silliness. It's really not how you trade every day. It's really not how you're going to make money trading every day. It's more like gambling if you're doing that. If you're trying to take 10 to 1,000 or 10 to 10,000, I'm not saying that it could not possibly be done. I've never been able to do it. I have taken $5 to $50. So in theory, yes, you could take 5 to 50 or 5 to 500. And I think that through this journey through the last couple months, I've realized that yes, it's probably possible to do that. In fact, I've done some of that in relation to ratio. But in order to keep your money, in order to continue to make money, in order to really be serious about the game, and I'm going to call it a game, that's fine, of binary options, I believe you need a little less emotion and a little lower expectations and a stronger long-term growth plan. Of course, that's what I've been doing, and I think it's the only sustainable way. My partner, Todd, and I, my trading partner, that is, I'm going to make that clear, my trading partner, Todd, and I, we're both married. We have been working on this for about 3 years, and we have tried all kinds of math. You can watch back our channel and realize, and sometimes you can think, these guys are doofuses. What are they doing? Well, what Todd really wanted was a way to sustain this. In other words, I can trade binary options every single day and not think I'm going to lose my account. I can go into binary options every day and start trading and feel like, man, I could do this for a living, okay? You can't gamble your life away for a living, okay? But you can do binary options for a living. I believe you can. Now watch this. Remember, the link of this exact chart, I'm going to put it in the description today, and it's going to be a download that you can purchase for just a small amount to support the channel. Anytime you buy a chart from us for like $5 or something, it really helps us support the channel and really just makes me feel good. Like, wow, somebody really wanted to trade along with us and do that. I work a long time on these charts. This chart is extremely good. I've taken my account from, like I said, from $75 all the way up to $341. Now, that has happened over the course of just 17 days. I'm actually going to leave this in my chart when I sell it, when I make the link available, so you can kind of see what I did, maybe, just what I did. There were a few days in this that I got mixed up. I got a little bit emotional and I got a slightly bit messed up. And then I noticed on day like 3 or 4 here, I was up 67%, okay, from where I started. So yes, I did have a few days where I went up, like the other day, I went up 17%. Now, that wasn't basically an emotional day. I just used a little more leverage on my account. But in general, what I'm doing right now to give you the overview is I'm trying to get about 4% growth a day, 5%. And this is really an up-down method. I'm risking only like 8% of my account, and I'm trying to go up 8%. That was the initial idea. I'm going to risk 8% to get 8%. And if I lose 8% in this session, in this day, or whatever it is, then I'm absolutely going to stop, turn off my computer, and be done for the entire day. That was the rule. So this plan has plenty of rules, okay? And I'm going to explain them in this video so that you have the heart of this. Now, this video might only be 10 minutes long or 15 minutes long or however long I talk, but learning the discipline of trading binary options for success is actually going to take a lot of wins and losses, and probably some hard losses. You're going to load your account multiple times until you get the point that, okay, that's what I have to do. Okay, trust me, I've done it. I know. And I'm really trying. I'm not just messing around. I'm really trying. Yet I somehow will keep getting beat here and there. Now I'll have these little wins, but then when I start trying something else, I might lose or something. So sticking with a single plan and sticking with a safe plan. I'm gonna talk about this on the Fascinating World of Binary Options website, live stream with Todd. But here's what Todd told me the other day. It's actually a Bible verse, and he called me and said, I'm able to apply the Bible verse to binary options. Okay, make no provision for the flesh. Bible. Let's see what it says. When we make provision for the flesh, sin, by lusting, we give Satan an opportunity to defeat us. That is the scripture. That is the point I'm looking for. When we make provision for the flesh by sinning and by lusting, we give Satan an opportunity to defeat us. Now, I'm going to put this into binary options language. Okay? When we try to make more money, or we get greedy, we give greed. We get greedy by lusting after more profit for the day. We give pocket option, or the broker, whoever it is. We give binary options. I'm going to say binary because pocket option, they're not really trying to beat us. What it is we allow the binary options charts to beat us, to defeat us. We offer up our account to them by continuing to trade when we're losing. Okay, that's how we lose. And most of the stuff on our website or our site up until the last few months has all been about martingaling. We have been martingaling a lot. And so when you martingale, what you're doing when you start your session is you're saying, I'm going to take my $341 account. Let's say I'm going to go 8 deep. I'm going to start with $5 trades. I'm going to go 8 deep, and we have the math, and we can figure it all out with the charts that I have. And at the end of the day, if you lose your 7th trade, or whatever depth in the martingale you're planning to go, if you lose that trade, you can lose your entire account. You're offering up to binary options your entire account. So it says, make no provision for the flesh. You're saying, I'm offering my account up for this session. I'm going to what we would call in, I guess, stock trading, I'm leveraging my account. Whatever that leverage is that you're using, which is the money in your account, you're offering it for them to take. So this is the cornerstone key of this whole thing. And I should probably rename this. I should probably rename this whole thing. This whole thing here, I should probably name it Ephesians 4:26. I should probably do that in relation to Todd, because he told me this the other day. And I should probably call this the Ephesians 4 plan. Because when we go in, what I'm doing is I'm saying that today, out of my $341 I have now, I'm only going to risk 26%. So let me go ahead and do 341.91 is my account. So today, I'm going to risk, I'm going to be able to risk 8% of that account. That's the number I have chosen. I feel like it's a safe enough number, but not so hard, and you can push for 5 or 8% growth if you want to. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but what the first cornerstone of this plan is, decide when you walk into your session how much you're willing to lose in that session before you will do a hard stop. Now, this number could be 5% really, but I find that 8% is pretty good. It gives me enough depth to work my martingaling, okay? And I'm going to explain how this is related right now. So if I have 8% to lose for the day, that means I have $27.35 that I might lose today. And if I lose that much, I will stop. So this part of the chart tells me that if I hit $341 in this session, if my account drops down to 314. So I'm at 341 right now. If I drop down to 314, that is it. That is death for the day. Now, that just means I'm down 8% for the day and I have to stop. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now, that means that I'll never blow my account ever. It would take me days and days and days and days and days. I mean, it would take me like 15 days or 10 days straight of losing every single day before my account was gone. It would be more than that. It would be at least 10 days, 15 days before it would be totally blown. But the thing is, when I trade binary options, I don't lose 15 days in a row. I win 15 days in a row and I lose one day. I lose one day out of 15 or something like that. You know, that's how it gets. I'll go forever. In fact, when me and Todd were doing our live stream last year, we went 41 days winning, and our accounts were growing really big, but we were doing a 5 deep martingale, and we didn't lose 5 in a row for 41 days. And then that one day, that 42nd day, we were risking our entire account each time, and we lost our 5th trade. And that's like some people have said on my channel, hey, you're going to lose all your money. You're going to, at some day, by odds, it's going to happen. And I think that I thought I could beat the odds, but I'm pretty sure now you can't. At some point, the sustainability of a full deep martingale will take your account. So what I've decided is this is my Ephesians 4 plan right here. Stop if I lose 8%. Now you can edit this chart to your own liking. And it's important that you understand when you're editing it, what it means to you and everything like that. So this is your first up-stop goal right here. And this really can't be green, because green is where you change the number. So we can make that orange. So you're trying to stop at 8%. So this is your first up-stop goal. If you get to 369, then that means you've increased 8%. Okay, these are tied together. Okay? And just call it your percent. It's tied to your percentage. Okay? So what I'm doing right now is I go over here. So how do I know what to do? That's the main goal. If you can understand this, you can win this. You can understand, you pick a risk amount when you first start the day, 8%. You absolutely know where that number is. It calculates it for you. If you get down to that number, 314, you have to stop. That just means you're getting your butt whooped by pocket option or by whatever place you're using. You're getting your butt handed to you if you've already lost 8%. Because how I calculate my initial trade risk, my initial trade, and how I trade is coming in this segment right here. I'm calculating my risk by taking by my trade amount, my first trade, by taking my full amount of risk, which is $27, okay? And I'm going to divide that by 15 chances. I want 15 chances to win, okay, to win the series. It's just how I divide it up. You can do whatever you want, but this is what it is. If your account is below $200, you're probably going to be at $1. If your account's at $300, you can do about $1.50. If you get up to about $1,000 account, you can do $4.50. You know, it kind of raises up. So the percentage of this is something I just sort of did, but this right here is actually calculated for the exact day, okay? So the exact day, your current risk divided by 15 is $1.80. So today what I did is I did $1.80 and I compounded up. So I'm going to show you my session for today. It'll be a lot easier to see that. So I know my starting point is $1.80. I know that I don't want to dip below 8% of my full account. And then I go into pocket option and I start on a piece of paper, which I can't show you on the screen. On a piece of paper, I write down these three numbers: $1.80, $3.40, $6.60. These are full compounded trades. And that's how I'm winning my 3, 4, 5% for the day. And I'll tell you when I stop. I'm really trying to get 8%, right? That was the initial goal. Go up or down 8. That's the up or down method. You either go up 8% or you go down 8%. But either way, you stop, dead stop. When you get up 8, you stop. When you get down 8, you stop. If you do that method, I've talked about that a lot. I have a chart for that as well. Maybe I'll include that in this chart pack because it's the up down loss scenario. I don't want to get too in the weeds with the charts because basically I'm trying to make this video understandable so that you know if I get up 8%, I stop, or if I get down 8%, I stop. Now, getting down 8% means you're getting your butt whooped, okay? And so you have to stop, or you could lose even more. Trust me, I know, I've done it. You will not recover from that. You could recover. Some days you might, some days you might not. The problem is when there's no stopping point at the bottom, then you just go by emotion once you're down there. Okay, I've got to get this back. Okay, I've got to recover. And then you start using more of your account than you really want to. And if you are losing and you continue losing, you can lose more money, so much money out of your account that then you're not on track anymore. And then you could even blow your account. You might not blow it, but you might lose 30% of your account. Well, it's hard to recover from that emotionally. So this is all about emotions. How do we know when to stop when we're up, though? That's the thing. I'm trading by compounding. I'll talk more about this in my book that I'm getting ready to release, and I'll talk more about this in more videos, but I'm compounding. So I take $1.80. When I win that $3.46, I take that whole amount and I trade it again. Now, I only traded $3.40 here because I'm rounding my trades up or down, but I'm not using a bunch of, I type in the wrong number too many times. Like the other day, I tried to type in $5.76 and I typed in $76 instead somehow in this little window, and I won a $76 trade. So it was an accident, but the thing is, the more numbers I have behind the decimal, the more easy it is for me to mess it up. So I round up or down. I'm kind of rounding down at this point because I'm just trying to save a little bit of money. If you round up and lose your compound, you can lose more than you meant to, even if it's just 50 cents more. But it does matter because this whole program scales. So if you round up and then you lose the third trade, then you've lost more than one try. Okay, remember I've divided my risk into 15 tries. That means I have 15 chances to start with $1.80 today, and I'm trying to get 3 in a row. If I really feel good, I can go for a 4 in a row, but I'm trying to compound wins. Now, in this new philosophy that I've created with Todd, here's what the point is. You're going to keep your losses small and your wins big. It's a flip-flop of what we've always done on this channel. That's why I wear the cowboy hat, because on this channel we've always had very small wins, lots of them, hundreds, thousands of wins, but they're all very small. And then when we lose big. We lose the whole account, or we lose half of the whole account. Mostly the whole account when you lose big, because you're leveraging in the martingale your whole account. Because you have to, because martingaling requires these little tiny trades. And so to get a bigger trade, you have to have a bigger, deeper account. You understand all that? If you watch our videos, you have to have a lot of money underneath you to martingale 8 deep. Okay, like if you want to go 8 deep off $5, I think you have to have like a couple $1,000s in your account. So you could lose 8 in a row, and then you could be losing a couple $1,000. Now, today, if I lose 8 in a row, I will lose about $15. You see, if I lose my little plan, my little compounding thing 8 times in a row, if I start and fail, then, what I have is a loss of $15, and I can stop for the day and come back. That's less than 5 or 6 or 7%. So the flip on this philosophy is your wins are huge, in comparison to your account. Your wins are big. Your losses are small, very, very small. So that's how we flipped it. The only way to do this is by compounding. That is what YouTubers will do when they say 5 to 5,000. They're compounding their entire account every time they win. Why I find that unrealistic is, yes, there are times when I've won 8 in a row, 10 in a row. Todd will have 9 in a row wins in a session, but he'll never know if that's going to happen. And in order to take 5 to 50 or 5 to 500 or something, you have to have, I think, like 10 or 12 wins in a row. Now, if you wanted to start your morning off with $5, and every $5 you say, I'm going to take this $5 and compound it up to 8 times, and you did that 30 times, at some point you will do it. That's the point. By probability, it will happen. Like I said, Todd will win. I will win. If you can see, right now I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've had 7 wins in a row. In my last 2 sessions, I've had no losses. I took 4 in a row yesterday. I took 3 in a row today. Okay, that's 7 wins. So had I compounded all of that from $5 and never lost one, and kept recompounding my entire win amount, then yes, I would have, you just take, how you figure it out is you just take 5, $5 times 1.92, that's the first one, times 1.92, that's the second one, 1.92, that's the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, the seventh one. Okay, so by the seventh win, $5 becomes 500, or by about the sixth win, I think it becomes $480. Okay, so it's very powerful. And yes, you can win long streaks, but you have to start over again every time with $5. That's not the method that I'm using. I could do that. I could say I'm going to start with $5 every single time, and I'm going to try to get 8 in a row. And I would probably lose a lot of money trying. And then one day I would make $600, and it probably would work out for profit. I do think we've talked about this quite a bit. It would work out where you could say, I've got 50 tries to start at $5, and that's 5 times 5 is 25. That's $250. Well, if you get 10 in a row or 7 in a row, you make like $500. So you could see how you could just keep doing it until you got your 7 in a row, and you would have your $400 or $500 profit minus however many times you tried it. Anyway, this is what we've been doing behind the scenes, coming up with different mathematical ways to win. And I have settled into this method this month. And you can see that every day I go over here on my little chart, and just because I'm trying to keep a journal, I will say that I got down 20% this day. I got up 60. This is when I first started. I don't know what I was doing. But I read my first session, I gained using 30-second candles and trades and compounded. So I really did great this day. This was like beginner's luck. The first day I was up 60%, which is insane. And then the next day I was like probably feeling so good about myself. I was just probably trading stupidly. And it says I lost 20% for the day and stopped. At one point I was up 10%. Okay. And so here where I broke the method, I got up 10% and thought, well, I'll start with $2 trades. Well, I remember this day because I lost about 5 $2 trades, and then I was down again. So I just kept going up and down. But the point is I was already up 10%. I could have stopped that point. And this is why you have to have an upper stop point. I was winning. I had 10% gain, and I kept going. I was feeling greedy, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to kill this today. Well, my philosophy on April 3rd was a little bit different. I was thinking I was going to get like 50% a day. So I was thinking I'll just keep pushing until I get up there. And you can see I did well on the first. So on the third, I was feeling overconfident. I got up 10%. Instead of stopping, I just kept going and ended up losing 20% total. I lost 20% total. Now, I also upped my trade amount, and I was pushing in, being very aggressive. I wasn't following the sheet to its perfection. So I went in for a second session in the morning, and I got down 20% again. I was down to $81. See, I was in the same day, pushing again, trying to revenge trade right here, and then that's what I was doing, and I lost another 20%. So on April 3rd, I was feeling like, well, I don't have much to lose. It's only $78. I'm only at $80, whatever. I took 2-minute trades using $20 and used the double up, and I got lucky. Okay. I got up 67% in that session, and then I kept going. I think I'm just writing here that I'm up 7%. I gained $8.94. So I kind of rescued my progress. But see, this is not good. This is terrible. This is what I'm trying to not do. Okay? But I feel like you almost have to do it with real money to get the reality check. That in this session right here, when I took 2-minute trades of $20 and used the double up feature, I could have easily lost those trades and been down, way down. Okay? So this is called luck. Luck. Stupidity on April 3rd started and ended with luck. This is not how you can trade long term. For the day, I'm up 7%. That's a good growth. All right, I started with the rough time. I lost 8% on April 4th. I kept going. I went way down to $70. I used $10 and $20 trades to get back up. Again, telling myself I don't want to do it this way, but I'm doing it anyway. I didn't follow the game plan, but I got off track, okay? 9 o'clock session on April 4th. I started with $10 from my earlier session and won $20 more for the day. So this was a day where I actually took yesterday's profit. I was like, I'm going to take $10 from yesterday and add it to the profit that I have today. This was a little more aggressive. See, and I'm settling down. This is only 4 or 5 days in. I'm going to settle down a bit, okay? I won 4 compound trades this day. I stopped at 6.5% growth. Next day, pretty easy growth, about 10 minutes, up 4.5%, and I stopped. So I started getting my mind right here. 7:30 session, very easy, won every trade, compounded, up 5%, stopped. Okay, pretty spinny, but I did well. I got up 4.5%, 4.75%, made $9.31 and stopped. Okay, so basically, this day I was doing pretty good. I thought, well, I'm going to take my profit from yesterday, okay, and I'm going to add it to my risk today. And I was able to push into 17%. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying that I felt like I wanted to get a little more growth today, and I realized that if I just use my risk for today, which is $27 plus my $10 from yesterday, then I'll have a little more to risk, okay? In this same chart, once you're trading, let's say you're trading at 341 and you get up to 351, okay? You say account now, it tells you you've gained $9 today, you're up 2.6%, and your current available to risk is 36. That takes what you're risking today plus what you've made today. So you can see how if you want to push this chart, push it for the day and keep pushing, that it's possible to do this because you can just take what you've made. Let's say, okay, you keep trading, now you have 360. Okay, now you have $45 profit basically from, not profit, it's basically what you were willing to risk plus your profit. So you can keep going and say, okay, you can kind of keep going. Okay, now I'm at $60.44 and 380. Okay, and you can see this number's going up. So you could be raising, at this point, you would have, how the math works on this is, let's say you get up to 380. Well, that means you've got your $27 risk plus your $38 profit today, which means your current available to risk is $65. You could start with a $4.36 trade. You'd have 15 chances, and you could just keep rolling this up. I don't think that you should do this. You're already at 11% gain for the day, which is a lot. And then let's say you go to 390. You get up here, you could keep going in one single day and pushing this up. And that's what I did that day that I'm telling you that I did this day when I took yesterday's profit, and I ended up making 17% for the day, which was really good. I felt really good about that. Then you can see the next 1, 2, 3, 4 days. The next 4 days, I got $5 from pocket option this day, and started at 260. It was going slow. Then it hit a $76 trade on accident. That was an accident, okay? So I was up a lot, okay? I gained, I don't know, I was up $59. So 260 to 319, what would that be? If I was at 260 here, and then I was at I ended up being at 319. Again, that was a mistake. That was up 22%. That's what that meant. That was up 22%. But that was an accident. So you can kind of see. But then if I'm doing really well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get up 3 or 4%. Once I'm up 3%, 2%, what I've realized, what I've decided in my mind already is that if I'm up by, 1 or 2%, I can stop. That's fine. If I'm up by like 1%, 2%, whatever, it's fine. I can stop for the day. If I feel good and I want to keep going and I want to keep that risk, if I want to risk the rest of my 8% of my account for that day and I feel like I'm going to make it, I can keep pushing. Now, everybody's going to be different, so I can't tell you what to do in that sense, but I can tell you that the mathematical equation that I have here is good. You have the risk that you want to keep your risk under 10% probably, and you want to divide that by about 15 times so that you have 15 chances to make it compounded win. And you just keep going back to the starting trade. You keep going back to $1.80 basically. If you lose a compound, go back to $1.80. You never make it up. You never martingale. You go for just a couple percent. And what I've seen and what Todd has seen, like with this growth chart, I can start with $75. And if I get 8% a day for 30 days, I'll be at $700, okay? And if I get 8% a day for 60 days, my account will be at $7,000, okay? That means I'll have a daily increase of $500. This is full-time income, big time. You know, monthly income of 16 grand. That's just in a couple months of making 8%. And really what I really want to do is I'm going to change this to 5% because that's kind of what I'm shooting for at this point. I mean, you can leave these percentages wherever you want to. But even at that, at 5%, on day 90, you're making $288 a day. And it just keeps going, you know, and you can make a lot of money. In fact, what Todd found out is what he found out was that he can make a 1.75% gain. That's less than 2% gain, starting with like, I think $50 or $60. Or maybe 300. It's a couple $100 you start with, let's say, and make a 1.75% gain. That's winning just one compounded trade. And then at the end of a year, by a year, your account, you will be making the equivalent of $1 million a year. Boom. That's how I'm going to win binary options. That's how I'm going to win in binary options, period. Now, my trading strategy has changed a lot. I trade 30-second trades on 30-second candles, and I just guess. That's it. I don't use a lot of indicators. I look at the indicators. I think, where is it going? And I just guess, and I look for pushes and momentum. In another video, check the channel. I will show you my trading method as I'm moving forward. Today was about the chart. If you like this idea, grab the chart. Go ahead and get the chart from the website. There's a link in the description, and it's going to be called something like the up-down. It's probably going to be called the Ephesians 4 growth plan. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to bring it right in, and I want to thank Todd for sharing that with me because really, he's right. We give greed the room in our trading sessions to lose all of our money. When you're going for small growth, steady, daily, small growth, you can chunk this away. You can be safe. You can stop when you're down. You can stop when you're up. Those are the keys to doing this, and get the math right. The math absolutely matters. This math that I've worked out absolutely does matter. So if you're trying to follow this, create a chart based on this math, or just grab this chart from the website and just modify it for what you want. This has everything to do with stopping when you're ahead or stopping when you're down. God bless, guys. I'll see you on the next video.